Hello, in this video, I'm going to go through all the cards that my brother Xander included in his Yargle and Multani commander deck. This is a deck focused on taking advantage of huge creatures, especially our commander, which is 3, a black and a black and a green for an 18-6. In this video, usually I would break out all of the cards by creatures, enchantments, and artifacts, instant sorceries, and lands. By the end of this video, you let me know which format you liked better. But Yargle and Multani, again, 18-6. If you just give this a giant growth, +3/+3 it, boom, it's 21 damage to the face. You lose based on commander damage. We're just going to go through all the cards. This is all the lands. This is all the sorceries. This is all the other lands. This is all the, monstrous onslaughts, instants, all the cards he has. Not going to put them in any kind of order. I'm just going to run through them. Sylvana, Heart of the Wilds, is 1, a green and a green for a 2/3. When another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card of its power is greater than each other creature's power. Guess what? When you have Yargle and Multani in play, that's never going to happen. Green tap, add X mana of any combination of colors where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. For 1 green, this thing taps for 18 mana with your commander in play. Absolutely great. Forest. Fungal Sprouting is 3 and a green for a sorcery. Put X 1/1s into play where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. 4 mana, 18 1/1s. Forest. Presumed Dead. Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies. Return to the battlefield under its owner's control and suspect it. We are going to be sacrificing our commander to fun effects. We're going to be putting it in harm's way. So having cards like Presumed Dead can keep it alive. Forest. Up the Beanstalk. Whenever it enters, and whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, draw a card. Guess what? Yargle and Multani, 6 mana. Swamp. Monstrous Onslaught is 3, a green and a green for a sorcery. It deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control as you cast this spell. So you're going to be able to deal 18 damage among your opponent's creatures, which is great. Swamp, it's like a selective board wipe. Man, lots of lands. Xander likes to play, he told me, 40 lands in his deck. So we're going to run into plenty of lands. And then we're going to try to say this card's name. We're going to say it's Calaxion, Hunger Tyrants. It's 3 mana for a 7/2. On theme, it's a huge powered creature. Forest, forest, forest. Swamp, swamp. Tamio's Safekeeping is 1 green for an instant. Target permanent you control gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. You gain 2 life. Protecting your commander for 1 green is great. Reliquary Tower, no max hand size. Life's Legacy. I wonder why we need Reliquary Tower. It's because the cards like Life's Legacy is 1 green and a 1. For a sorcery, as if you'll cast this creature, sacrifice the creature. Draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Draw 18. Draw 7 off the Hunger's Tyrant. Plenty of good options. Green Weaver Druid is 3 mana for a 1/1. It adds 2 green, double ramping you. Quake Strider Ceratops is 3 green for a 12/8. Super on theme there. Exotic Orchard, this card's great. It's a very nice budget card. It's under 50 cents. If you think about it, you're playing against 3 opponents, sometimes more. The chances of not one of them playing black is so low. The chance of not one of them playing green is so low. The chances of them playing both is very high. That's all I'm trying to say is this thing is going to be an untapped land that probably adds either of your colors after like turn 2 or 3. Galandra, Caller of Wirewood, is 2 and a green for a 1/2. It taps for green. Then if you cast this mana to cast a spell with converted mana cost 6 or greater, draw a card. Not going to be hard to do. Lands, Command Tower. Overwhelming Stampede is 3, a green for a sorcery. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. All your creatures get +18/+18 in trample. I'd like to see half of you survive that. Also, super fun, super good if you do it with your Fungal Sprouting. Now you have a bunch of 19/19s. The Caryid adds 1 mana of any color. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, it adds 2 instead. Forest. Badlands Revival is 3, a black and a green. Return up to 1 creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Return up to 1 permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Some reanimation stuff. Rampaging Balos is 4, a green and a green for a 6/6 with trample. Whenever a land enters, you create a 4/4 beast creature token. Super good card. Tumbleweed Rising is 1 and a green. Create an XX where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. This is a 2 mana 18/18. And it's also an elemental. 2 mana 18/18 when your commander is in play. You can plot it in the early game to cast it for free later also. Revitalizing Repast is a black or a green for an instant. Put a +1/+1 counter target creature against indestructible. And on the backside, it's a tapped land. This card is one of the best dual-sided cards from Modern Horizons 3, in my opinion. It's probably one of the best multicolored ones as well. It's a 1-mana instant on one side that gives indestructible, or a tapped land turn 1. Fantastic. Shadowheart Dark Justicar is 3 and a black for a 3/4. Legendary creature, human elf cleric. 1 and a black, tap, sacrifice another creature, draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. Draw 18 cards. Insane. Doom Weaver is 6 mana for a 1/8. Reach and Soulbound. As long as it's paired with another creature, each of those creatures has, when this creature dies, draw cards equal to its power. Boom, draw 18 cards. Magus of the Order is 2 and a green for a 3/3 green, tap, sacrifice it, and another green creature. Search your library for a green creature card, put on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. You know, I'm not 100% confident what he is hoping to search with this card. It could be the Rampaging Byloss. That's a pretty good card to hit. It could be just the Ceratops or something, but let's keep our eye out to see if we can figure out what it is. Forest, swamp. Eternal Thirst is 1 and a black for an enchantment. It enchants a creature. It gives lifelink, and whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1 count on this creature. Gaining 18 life with your commander is going to be absolutely fantastic. Let me rotate the camera a little bit here. Gaining 18 life is going to be fantastic. You know, you're not going to play this in a higher bracket game, and those games are going to come down to life. So lifelink is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and move the majority of these cards over, so I have a nice small pile to put cards towards the left. Return to action. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0, gains lifelink, and when it dies, return to the battlefield tapped. Again, this is 2 mana, save your commander. If it's in combat or blocking, gain 19 life, which is, again, fantastic. Professor's Warning. I was just watching the Professor of Tolarian Academy. He was opening the Strixhaven Collector Booster box. If you watch that video, let me know in the comments. I have a Strixhaven Collector Booster box right here. Didn't get it from him. Let me zoom out here, show it off. Got it here. Pretty happy with it. Don't think I'm gonna open it. It's just on my shelf of my sealed products. But he every time he sees this card, he goes, buy singles. But sorry, that was a tangent. 1 black for an instant. Choose 1. Put a +1 counter target creature, or target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Garruk's Uprising gives creatures trample. Remember, it's just an 18/6. It has no ability, so giving the trample is insane. Whenever it enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. And whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters, draw a card. Death Sprout destroys a creature and ramps you. Good old 2 for 1. Taunting Elf is 1 green for a 0/1. All creatures able to block it must do so, distracting your opponents from the Yargle that they're going to lose to now. Tarian World Tyrant is 2 green for a 9/7. Arbor Elf untaps a forest. Daring Fiend Bounder is 3 and a black for a 5/1 haste. It attacks each combat if able. 1 and a black, exile it from your graveyard, put an indestructible counter on target creature. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. Putting indestructible counters on your commander is great. It also has a high power, which is on theme for the deck. Swamp, Thickest in the Thicket. That's what they used to call me in high school. 3 green for an enchantment. Whenever it enters, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature, where X is that creature's power. At the beginning of your end step, draw 2 cards if you control the creature with the greatest power or tied for the greatest power. It's going to be pretty hard to have a creature with higher power than Yargle and Multani. This also doubles it to a 36/12, which is fantastic, and it lets you draw 2 cards every single turn. Great card in this deck. Swamp, Golgari Lich Lord, Gerard. He went to Jared. Black, green for a 2/2. It gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. You can pay 1 black and a green to sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. So each opponent is going to lose 18 life, which is a huge chunk of life. That's like 48% of their life, I think. 46% of their life. Fantastic. And by the time you actually like use all these abilities, each opponent's probably down to like 30, you know, just been attacking each other, losing some life to some gutter snipe or something. So good there. Sacrifice a swamp and a forest to return it from your graveyard to your hand. Forest. Return of the Wild Speaker. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures. Yargle and Multani is a frog spirit elemental. Let's go ahead and read this flavor text. We're far enough in the video where people are not going to get bored. I've heard much about you from my daughter, Multani rumbled. There was a time when I'd balk at your aid, Phantom, but she has shown me the merit in Orborg's strange ways. Garnishak, replied Yargle. So moving. I read that to myself every morning to inspire myself to get out of bed. Return of the Wild Speaker. You're going to draw 18 cards or give non-human creatures +3/+3. Roar of Challenge is 2 and a green. All creatures able to block target creature must do so. That creature gains indestructible if you control a power of 4 or greater. This card accomplishes 2 things. Either A, it gets all of your creatures out of the way so Yargle and Multani can hit extra hard. I'm talking hard. Again, a giant growth on this thing is lethal, so giving it +1/+1 counters or anything. Or Roar of Challenge as a sorcery for Yargle for the turn. And you actually just get to give it indestructible and kill like almost all of your opponent's things. So it can go either way. Suspicious Bookcase can make Yargle unblockable. Swamp. Assassin, all creatures able to block it must do so. Again, we're talking distraction. We are distracting our opponents away from Yargle and Multani. Faking your own death is also a good thing to do. 1 and a black for an instant until end of turn. Target creature gets +2/+0. And whenever it dies, return to the battlefield tapped under Sotho's control, and you create a church token. Freelance Muscle is 4 and a green for a 4/4. Whenever it attacks or blocks, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power or toughness among other creatures you control. So whenever it attacks, it gets +18/+18. Elvish Mystic, make sure you ramp. Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia, is 2 and a green for a 2/3 tap. Add 2 mana of any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell or activate abilities of a creature or creature card. Whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, put a +++ counter on it and untap it. Could ramp you into multiple things. Great. Forest, forest, forest. Oh, wait, look at this forest. Look right there. See that? See what that says? It says, if you're enjoying the video so far, like the video. Interesting. Soul's Might is 4 and a green for a sorcery. Put X +1/+1 counters on target creature, where X is that creature's power, doubling the power of your commander from 18/6 to 36/12. Demonic Tutor, Swamp, 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 Yawgmoth, Vile Offering, 4 and a black for a legendary sorcery. You control your commander whenever you cast it, so you fixed and you have that legendary status. Put up to 1 target creature, a planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield, and you control will destroy up to 1 target creature, a planeswalker, exile it. Can reanimate your commander, or just destroy something in the way and reanimate another big creature from your library. Don't forget, you're playing huge creatures. There's 2 kinds of creatures you're going to get back for this if you get it from your own graveyard. You're either going to go get one of your big dinosaurs, 12 4s, 12 7s, all that kind of stuff, 7 2s, or you're going to get cards like the Assassin that all the other creatures have to block this one. Either way, don't think you can go wrong. I'm going to go ahead and get all of the lands out so we can just look at non-land cards here. I'm going to keep that one in so we can talk about it. Okay, now that I decided to do that, there's only like 3 lands on top, and the rest of them are non-lands. Okay, Yargle, Glutton of Orborg, is a 9/3 for 5. Super fun. You know, it's half of this pair. Yargle's a 9/3. 2 9/3s make an 18/6. Galta Primal Hunger is 12 mana for a 12/12. It costs X less to cast, where X is the total power among creatures you control. With Yargle in play, this is a 12/12 trample for green and a green. Fantastic. Gift of Doom is 4 and a black for an enchantment aura. It's an enchantment. It has Death Touch and Indestructible. Morph, sacrifice a creature. When it's turn play up, you may attach it to a creature. Unnatural Growth. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. 1 green, 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 green. So it's going to become a 36/12, which is fantastic. Supernatural Stamina, +2/+0, making it a 26. So if it already has just 1 +1/+ encounter on it, it is lethal. Whenever this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Forever Young, put any number of target creature cards from your graveyard on top of your library, draw a card. Whisper of the Wilds adds 1 green, but if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, which is like almost all the creatures in your deck, adds green, green. The Skull Spore Nexus is 6 green, green for a legendary artifact. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So it costs -12. I know it doesn't work that way. Just let me have my fun. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures you control die, Create a green fungus dinosaur creature token with base power and toughness equal to the greatest total power of those creatures. So whenever Multani dies, it makes a 12/12. Total power of those creatures. Yep. 2-tap, double target creature's power until end of turn, making it a 36/6. My main slime is 3 mana, and it makes a 18/18 ooze. Path of Ancestry. We have some elementals in this deck, but this is a tap land that adds black or green. It's an 18/6 frog spirit elemental. So if you happen to cast a frog, a spirit, or an elemental from your library, from your hand or whatever, you get to scry 1. I know there's some elementals in here. That's a frog spirit. I'm curious though. I'm shaking the camera way too much. Curious. There's cards. This one, Dinosaur Ooze. Okay. Curious if those are elementals or not. You know, the black one being the same. Ingaruk's Wake destroys all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you control. Getting up to 9 mana is not going to be hard. You're a Golgari deck looking to ramp. And getting all the creatures out of the way means Yargle's just going to kill people. Tragic Slip, target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Morbid, that creature gets -13/-13 until end of turn. If a creature died this turn, look at how beautiful this card is. The special guests are so much better than the list. So much better than the list. Super nice. Grave Purge. Put any number of target creature cards from your graveyard on top of your library. Draw a card. Primeval Protector is 10 green for a 10/10. It costs 1 less to cast for each creature your opponents control. This card's going to come down super quickly as a 10/10 for like 1. You know, if each of your opponents have 3 creatures, this is green 1. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter each other creature you control. Beast Within destroys a permanent, makes it 3/3. Kaya's Ghost Form onto your commander means it doesn't die. It only dies once, and then it comes back. The Eternity Elevator is 5 mana, tap, add 3 colorless. 20 tap, add 1 mana of any color, where X is the number of charge counters on it. You're going to be able to tap Yargle to this. Get it up to 20 super fast. Gore Claw Terror of Kalsima is 3 and a green for a 4/3 creature spells you cast with power 4 or greater, cost 2 less to cast, making this a 4 mana 18/6. So you can go turn 4 this, turn 5 that, you know, turn 2 or 3, or even turn 1, play an elf, turn 3, turn 4, which is great. Whenever it attacks, each creature you control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 against trample. Good to give Yargle trample. Necropolis Regent Necropolis. 3 black for a 6/5 flyer. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on it, doubling the power of our commander. Llanowar Elves is a good piece of ramp. And those are all the cards that he chose to include in his Yargle and Multani deck. I want to say a couple things about it. First, if you're going to build one or you have one, please let me know in the comments how you would improve his version of the deck. I want to say I appreciate Xander for letting me borrow his deck to make a video on. And if you enjoyed the video, please like it, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. But I hope you have a good rest of your day, and may your top decks be ever in your favor. Thank you.